Hello, and a very good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for being here bright and early on this beautiful Thursday. I'm Syahida Othman, presenter at CNA. I'm sure we're all still taking in the results and the outcome of the US presidential election, but we're here to kickstart the second day of the Singapore FinTech Festival, and I'm just as excited as you are to hear from our next guest, Forrest Li, one of Asia's most forward-thinking leaders, most influential men and tech innovator. Forrest, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. So we want to go deep into this discussion to better understand, see its challenges and opportunities amid, all of these headlines of fintech, e-commerce, and generative AI. But before we do that, I want to rewind ourselves back to how it all started. You founded this company in 2009 at the age of 31 and publicly listed it in 2017. It started as a gaming platform, Garena, before you ventured into your e-commerce arm, Shopee, and your fintech platforms for Garena. And you did it all within a span of 15 years, guided by one simple mission, and that is to serve the underserved and overlooked. How has this one simple message and formula helped you to shape, scale, and diversify the company?
Oh, that's a great question. And before I answer that question, just want to take this opportunity to say hello to everyone and good morning. And it is my pleasure and honor to be here for this great conference. I've been heard about this conference for a few years, and this is my first time to be here. It's really a pleasure. I know this is far away from the center of the city, and this is still early for a lot of us. And I really appreciate all your presence and for your being here in the audience. And hopefully you enjoy the session. To back to the questions, and it has been a 15-year journey, and this remind me how time flies. And if you look at our journey, and people say, okay, as you mentioned, you may over the years you diversify in a different business and start as a game, video game business, as I later on march into e-commerce and create the one of the largest e-commerce platform, marketplace, Shopee. And then later on, the reason I'm here for this conference because we're also now in the financial services business. But across all the business we have, and as a company C, we always believe in technology. So that has been the core. That has been the part to connect everything together. So it doesn't matter which industry we may in and which business we're in. We always really focus on how technology can make things differently. How technology can make the product better, make it a more kind of a convenient, and there's a way to do business in a more efficient way, in a more effective way. So that has been the focus. And if you look at in the past 20 years, I would say probably the biggest, the most impactful technology breakthrough is starting with the internet, and then later on, even more impactful is the mobile internet. And I think 20 years ago, none of us carry around a smartphone, and today, for any of us, it's hard to imagine we go around without our mobile phone in the pocket for even just a single day. So that is basically unimaginable. So that is a show how impact the technology has bring into people's life. So for all our business, we have been very, very excited about the mobile internet value created by the new technology. Say, for example, for video games, and the phone now is become the game device, and this is the game device is very different from the console, and it's from the PC. And the amazing part is you can put in your pocket, and anytime, anywhere you want to play games, you can have that device, and you can connect it through the affordable data plan offered by all the telco, all the service providers. And even we'll talk about the financial services business, and we're being in the digital banking business. And one thing is really excited us is I don't know how about your guys, over the years, I never enjoyed travel to a bank branch to do whatever the services I want to do. Usually there's a long queue, and you have to say that most of the time the service may not be great. So but like now with your smartphone in your pocket, and this is your personal bank branch, and you can pretty much like without going anywhere, and you can use your phone to whatever the deposit, the saving, the investing, the checking, whatever your financial situations. So this is just a fantastic. So that is the opportunity we have thing. And another things like in addition to the technology, what we really focus on is believing in is how this technology can bring the benefit to as many as people possible. There's always a technology breakthrough. There's a new technology, but sometimes a lot of technology, because of how the application look like, how it's applied in the real world, it may not be benefit most of the people on the ground. So that has we have been very focused. I can give you 2 examples. Say for example, for our video game business, we developed the mobile games. And actually now one of our self-developed games called Free Fire is the most popular mobile game in the world. So every day there's more than 100 million people play the game from all over the world across 130 countries. And the success, like, it's not how fancy the game is or how creative the game is. Of course, the creativity part is always very important. But we have been really focused on how to make sure the game can be played, can be well performed, even on a lower spec phone, and with the phone with a kind of a poor battery performance, or like even how the game can be performed in a less kind of ideal network situation with a certain latency, so how the game can still playable. So that has been how we always want to make sure every time we update the game, the patch size is as small as possible to have least interruption to gamers' experience. So the only reason for do that, we keep doing that, is that we want to like have more people. Because of all those efforts, more people can play our games, and more people can enjoy the games. It's compared to e-commerce as well. So when we operate a Shopee, the marketplace, a very single-minded goal for us is to continually push down the price of the whatever is being the merchandise, the item is sold on the platform. And also we try what we can do to continually lower down the delivery cost. We understand if the items is sold on Shopee platform is cheaper with a certain quality, with the same quality but it's cheaper, which means more people can afford it, more people can buy it. And when we push down the delivery cost and still control maintain the quality of the delivery, the speed of the delivery, that means like even not just people in the city, but in the like more rural area people, they can still enjoy the benefit of e-commerce because of the cost of the delivery, even to the rural area, is low enough for them to afford. So those are the things we have been really focused on. So back to the question. So we, as a company, we believe in the technology, and we believe in the access, the affordability. So it's like the inclusiveness of all the technology benefit bring to the people.
And it's good to note also that Sea became profitable since your 2017 IPO, reporting a net profit of $163 million on revenue of $13.1 billion in 2023, a sharp turnaround from the previous net loss. But Forrest, the tech industry we've established is very cutthroat, isn't it? Back in 2022, 2023, we saw that with a series of layoffs and salary freezes, widening losses and slower revenue growth. It was a very difficult, very turbulent time for the industry, and Sea was not spared either, especially after the easing of pandemic regulations, restrictions, as well as geopolitical tensions that we saw somewhat affected consumer behavior and the environment. But I want to touch on your resilience. Through all of that turbulence, you managed to steer a company that size and achieve self-sufficiency at the end of it all. Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, that's well, I'm glad you asked about it. It's like it has been not easy for the past few years, considering all the happening globally and specifically in the business context. I think it's like we all gone through the COVID situation. I mean, in a way, from the exclusiveness perspective, COVID is a kind of a push a lot of consumer to really start to appreciate the benefit of being online, like both for the entertainment and also for shopping when there's in the lockdown situation. But the side effect is like since such a COVID situation is unprecedented and nobody know how the world will go after COVID and how the consumer will be how the consumer would behave, and this is create a big challenge for any business, like in terms of the planning, in terms of thinking about the next step, how to do the resource allocation. And on top of that, and because of the high inflation in the States and the Federal Reserve start to really push to increase the interest rate, and so the capital become very, very expensive. And so the whole business world operating from the mentality of resource abundance, capital abundance. You can just use the capital as much as you can, unless you can grow the business, to suddenly to a very much a capital scarce kind of a situation. Is everybody say, okay, money has become so expensive. I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to invest the money. I want to see the profit. So, and we have been caught in that situation as a public company, and we hear this strongly from the public investor as well. Well, and we need to adapt. So I would say in the past 10, 15 years, for most of the history of the company, it's always a general quite a capital abundance situation. I think that's accelerated growth, the digital inclusion by a lot. And but suddenly this is a change, and this is something new to us as a company, especially as a young company, only like a 10, 15-year-old company, teenager company yet. So it has been the challenge. I think looking back, what we have done well is we have been take action very, very quickly. So we know, the world is different. Whatever kind of the way we do is work in the past, probably not be the case anymore. We need to look at the whole things and in a fresh perspective. But we never lose our faith in the business. And by the end of the day, we always believe a profitability of the business is just a proxy of the value you created. And it's not value you only created for yourself, for the company, but for the whole society, for all your customers and for all your suppliers. And in our situation, it's all the gamers, it's everybody who shop on Shopee and everybody who sell on Shopee. So, and we still believe like what we have done in the past continually create a lot of value to the whole ecosystem. Like people enjoying buying things and selling things and on Shopee create a lot of joy and on the convenience. But but like at that moment is okay. Since there is a capital scarce like a situation, we need to take one step back. We say okay, we need to slow down a little bit. Although we are very passionate, we believe okay, the technology, we believe the inclusiveness. But at this point, because of the situation, we need to take one step back. We need to make sure we are robust and we are healthy financially. So that has been the focus.
You got into crisis mode and it somewhat paid off, and here you are, right? I want to also focus on your fintech journey. Time is ticking away, Forrest, but it's been a rather interesting one, your fintech journey, because you started with e-wallets for businesses in Vietnam and Thailand under AirPay back in 2014, before expanding into consumer and SME credit loans, tapping into the Shopee ecosystem. You also have digital banks across Singapore, Philippines and Indonesia, and you're also applying for a license in Thailand. Talk to us about this transformation. How were you able to go from one business to another and manage the customization of the solutions?
Yeah, that is an area like it's relatively new compared to our other business, but this is a business provide a very, very exciting growth opportunity. And personally, I'm very excited about the opportunity. Again, this is driven by the technology. As I mentioned, like we just think about when we run a digital bank, we just think about how much people can do on their phone instead of going to any physical bank branch. Like how to continually optimize that that experience. And also it's about what is really people need and what is inclusiveness about. One thing I always feel puzzled and is I realize like when you are become a wealthy people and you get the better options in terms of the investment product you can have and the credit like a product. It's like if you are in a way, so you are richer, it's easier for you to borrow money. So that's and if you look at the real life, it's not always the best scenario for most of the people. I would say for most of the people, even you just for consumption or for just you running a small business, you need a working capital loan, and it's very, very hard. Like without the traditional pay slip data, without the traditional like a credit score, you walk into any bank, nobody are going to lend to you. And especially for a market like Indonesia, right? When even like a credit card penetration is still very, very low, and people really have not much access to the credit. And that is the part where I've been very, very excited. And even today, and we have like at this moment, we give out the credit loans to consumers. Like there's more than 10 million people in Indonesia have the access, have been borrow money from us, and the relatively the average the credit the loan size they borrow is about $100 to $200. So it's a very, very small amount, but this can make a big difference in their life. So I think those credit services will help a lot of people to do things better, to enjoy their life better. And I can give you another example. And people say, okay, then how about in Singapore? And in Singapore, everybody has a credit card. Maybe have a multiple credit cards. So there's an easy access to credit. And but like we realize in Singapore, people also need to have such a strong desire to invest. And a few years ago, MAS granted us a full digital bank license. So we built up a bank called Mari Bank, and it's mainly interact with our customers through banking, the mobile, like a banking app, like people like not just only put in the savings in the saving account, but we continually offer new services. And one specific product we offer is called Mari Invest. We realize a lot of people, a lot of Singaporean, they have the desire to invest, but there is a really short of the investment product, and they don't know what to do. And a lot of them actually is a first-time investor, and they are digital savvy. They have this appetite. So we launched this Mari Invest product. So basically, you can put any amount into a like a money fund, and it could be as low as $1, and you can put in any time, and you can take the money out anytime without any penalty, and you can look at your returns on a daily basis. It's offered a very easy user experience, full transparency, and it's took off without any marketing. We didn't do any marketing about this product, but now it's like it's close to $1 billion have been invested into this product, and it's become one of the largest cash alternative investment product in Singapore.
There's strong momentum going on there, and it also boils down to understanding what works for each local market, isn't it, Forrest? Okay, before we go, I think the next question that everyone's probably asking now is what's next for Sea? If I may just quote you from one of your interviews that you did in the past, you said, we want to continually push the boundaries. So what boundaries would Sea want to test next? What's the ultimate vision for Sea? I know we are down to the last minute, Forrest, but we'll try to wrap this up very quickly.
Yeah, I would say like, again, it's back to the technology and the exclusiveness. Maybe like I start with inclusiveness, and it's always kind of trouble us, and we still see, even with we continually put up a lot of relentless put effort into to make the product easier to access, but there is still a lot of people haven't enjoyed the benefit of the product and the services we provide. If you look at entire Southeast Asia, even including Singapore, the e-commerce penetration rate is still pretty low. It's on the low end compared to a lot of a market like a US or like a China. So which means there's still a lot of the room to grow. The way to grow it is just to make our product even cheaper and easier to access, easier to use, to let more people to onboard to use that. And I think there's still a long way to go. And at this moment, we are serving in the scale of hundreds of millions of customers on a daily basis. I hope that day, one day it could be over 1 billion. So that's a goal. And also we are also very excited about continually there's a new technology breakthrough. And nowadays people talk a lot about AI. And I think specifically probably in this conference, people also talk a lot about the crypto, about a lot of blockchain. I personally also very, very excited about those new technology. I think in the next 10, 15 years, and all those new frontier technology will bring the new service and the new value to serve people better, to make people's better life better. And for us, we want to participate in those technology development, but we are also want to be more focused on the application and how to use this technology and to change it to the daily product and the services people can benefit from.
So making sure that no one is left behind in this tech revolution, always guided by that one simple mission, and that is to serve the underserved. Forrest Li, everyone. I want to thank all of you for being such an amazing audience. I know we've run out of time. I want to thank the organizers for inviting me to moderate this fireside chat. And of course to Forrest Li for this very insightful discussion. Thank you so much, Forrest.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Singapore FinTech Festival experience. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's that?